Hi, I'm Andy. I'm the Schnucks Cheese Guy. Today we're going to talk about how do you make a cheese board that's nice and simple, but something that's going to be really cool, and when you have your next get together with your guests, that's going to really blow them away. So we're going to give you some quick tips and some tricks and kind of give you my ideas of what makes a good cheese board. I want to say this before we get started though. It doesn't matter if you if you don't like what I say, that's okay, because it's what you like. It's whatever you guys, whatever cheeses you like, whatever accompaniments you like, build your cheese board the way that you like it. So these are just some examples for us to share. So the first thing we want to do is make sure we have enough cheese for everybody. Good rule of thumb: 1 to 2 ounces of cheese per person per cheese. So if you've got 3 people coming in, it's 2 ounces a piece. So you're going to need about 18 ounces, a pound and a half of cheese. That should be plenty for your guests, because they're also going to be eating all these great accompaniments that come with it. Next thing is pick a board that you like. If you can see here, I've got a slate rectangular board. I've got a wooden oval board and a round wooden board. You can do it on a plate. You can do it however you want. You change the shape of the board. It kind of changes the way the appearance of your cheese board looks. The next thing is keep the cheeses to about 3 to 5. Any more than that, it's gonna be kind of sensory overload, and you're not going to enjoy them as much as you would if you keep it smaller. So today we're going to start with 3. Over here on the left, I've got the Markut cave-aged Gouda. Then we're going to follow that with a Ludwig Farmstead Creameries. This is their Vermilion River Blue. And then we've got the Hemi Brothers. This is their Applewood Smoked Cheddar. So kind of really different cheeses, and I think that's key to this, is to make sure that you have different flavors on the board. I always like to have a blue cheese on there. It's good to have some kind of brie or brie-like cheese on there. And today we're kind of killing 2 birds with 1 stone, because this Vermilion River Blue is a double cream, so it's real creamy like a brie, but totally different. It's still an aged cheese, but real creamy, and had cream added to it on the make, but also has blue cheese in it. So that's why we don't have a brie or anything like that on this one. We talked about the cave-aged Gruyere from Markut. This is a little sweet, a little younger, so it's got some nutty notes. It's got some notes of a little bit of caramel in there too, so it makes a great addition to the board. And then, like I said, we've got the smoked Applewood cheddar from Hemi Brothers, which is sometimes smoked cheeses get to be too much, and that smoke overpowers. This is a very subtle smoke and goes really well on the cheese board, especially if you start pairing it with some of the other things that we've got on here. So let me start laying it out, tell you guys how the way I would do this, and we'll talk through some of the pairings as we go. So first of all, you can cut up all your cheeses if you want, or you can, what I like to do sometimes, like I'm going to do here today, is still have some of the piece on there, but have some of the cuts on top of it, so you can kind of lay them around, and this way it lets your guests see what the cheeses look like before you started cutting it up, because a lot of times what you'll find when you're doing a cheese board is people are going to be asking you a lot of questions like, where'd you get that, what is this? This is a good way for them to kind of understand what the cheese look like, so when they go buy it themselves. I also recommend to keep the labels around, because people want to see that too. So you see here, just laying them on here, kind of keeping them spread out a little bit, because I want some room in between so where I can put some things. Really the fun part too is the cheese is amazing. The cheese is the star of the show, but the accompaniments really change the flavor of the cheese as you try stuff. So I like to have some sweet components. So I've got some honey here. I actually have some balsamic glaze, which has got a little sweet and sour to it. Fruit is always a good one. I always go with berries, and then some nuts, some kind of nuts. So we've got caramelized walnuts here, and then we've got Marcona almonds here. So it's just some different nuts here that really work well with any of these cheeses. So really just kind of start putting them around, and be careful, be aware of color. You want to kind of mix that up. So take some, got a raspberry got away. Put some kind of, the cheeses are all very similar in color, so it's kind of good to break them up with some of these brighter colors with the fruits. Put a little blackberries on here to fill some of the gap. Longer vegetables and pickled things like these pickled green beans are good to kind of fill around some of these longer spots. So drop those on there, and we can start putting some nuts on. Really, that's getting close, and you see once you got everything laid out, it really takes you no time to get the board built and ready to present. So the way you look at it here, we've got honey, we got some sweet, we've got some savory, we got some sour, and then we're going to add some of our charcuterie in here too. And this is always fun to kind of use this to kind of fill in some of the gaps and make sure you can put it in multiple spaces as well. So that kind of gets, I like to have everything on the board covered up. So there's really no board. It's all about just the cheese and the accompaniments just popping out at you. So there you go. 2 minutes of preparation where it's just a really eye-catching board that makes you just want to sit down here and try everything. So as you're sampling it, as you're trying it, I encourage you to try everything, to mix sweet and savory. Try things that you don't think would make sense, and then just see what that flavor profile does when you're trying it. A lot of people like to use crackers as well, and I think that's fine. The way I like to use crackers is more of a vessel, so I don't like to have very flavorful crackers. So I like so anything that's just kind of like a water cracker that has no flavor, because what I like to do is taste the cheese and taste the accompaniments that go with it, and not taste the crackers that much. So a little bit of the Vermilion River Blue, a little bit of blackberry, and then you can just pour a little bit. If this was your board, I would recommend definitely having some kind of utensils on here, but for this, I don't have it in front of me. We'll just do it like this. Put them together and enjoy.